Van life is great. It's basically a bed on wheels that can take you wherever you like, allowing you to have cheap adventures. That's why recently I've been converting an old Renault Kangoo into a micro camper. So I can do just that, have adventures. The goal of this build was to finish it as fast as I could, and although I've had a few setbacks, the van is nearly finished. All that's left to do now is the bed, which many van lifers consider to be the main foundation of any good van build.
Let's start with the bed, the biggest and most crucial element in every van build.
So now we are coming to the much important thing in the van, a good bed.
Having converted 2 vans previously, I decided to try a pre-made camper bed from eBay for this build. Curious to see if they're truly worth the price tag compared to a DIY version. I'm pretty happy with how the van's turning out, and by happy I mean surprised. I had no idea that the van would come out looking this good. All the basics are done, it's insulated, the walls are done, the roof's done, and the floor's done. So all I need now is something to sleep on. And for this van build, I have decided to go with a pre-made camper bed from eBay. I've been looking around on eBay, and a lot of these beds are for larger vans, which is pretty annoying. But I have found one seller that actually does a version for a smaller micro camper. I've just measured the back and it literally just fits. I've probably got a few millimeters just to play with, but it seems pretty perfect. Okay, and add to cart, and boom, ordered. Now this should go without saying, I'm not associated in any way with this company. I'm buying this with my own money, and for nearly £300, that is a lot of money, which I don't think I've ever spent on myself before. So I feel like by spending my own cash, you know, I can kind of give more of an honest opinion. If this thing is a load of crap, I will tell you that it's a load of crap, and you know, it's probably worth making your own, but I won't know until it turns up. It's here, it's here, it's here, it's here.
Stuff in there, it's right.
Yeah, good. Good. Good, guys.
Thank you, mate. What's your name, sir?
It's Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you,
very
everybody,
much.
guys. Thank you. I have been pretty excited about this, I'm not gonna lie. Now, obviously I have no idea what this bed is like. I've never bought one before. On my last 2 previous vans, I built my own beds, but I'm gonna be ranking this bed on 3 things: how easy it is to assemble, the design, and its overall functionality as a bed. So for the assembly, I thought I would time it. Now, this is me putting it together, so it might take a little bit longer than most people, but I want a rough idea how long this thing takes to put together. Right, box 1 of 2. Now, I'm hoping it's a lot like IKEA furniture, because I'm pretty good at putting that together. So, maybe it won't be that difficult. Oh no, already struggling with the tape. Already off to a good start. There we go, there we go. Whoa. Oh, it looks good. Instructions. Are these instructions? Assembly instruction. Oh no. They don't look very straightforward. I think it's saying that I need to put in these little, they call them inserts, into each hole. Most of my time has been taken up by bloody putting these little raw plugs in. And that's how many more I've got to go. And there's 2 boxes. So I assume I've got to do the same thing in that box as well. You know what would have been good? If I had a drill. I do not recommend doing this by hand. There are hundreds of screws. Okay. I'm finished. Now that's taken a little bit over 3.5 hours. And that was just one box. I've still got another box to do. Whew. But yeah, I mean, so far it's looking pretty good. I mean, there's no way I could have made something like this on my own. It's sort of doing everything it's supposed to be doing. And then when it pulls out, get the extension. I'm still in shock that's taken 3.5 hours to do. I don't think I have enough time to do the other box today, so that might have to be a tomorrow job. Oh, it's a little bit heavy. All right. All right, well, there you go. That's the bed done. I can't be bothered to do anymore. It's all right, I can sleep on this. It's all right. Ah, cozy. Oh, God. I don't want to do the other one. Ugh. So the bed is finished. Now box 2 was identical to box 1, so this time round I kind of knew what to expect. I laid everything out and I pre-prepared everything by putting in the raw plugs into every hole before I started the build. And this time around I managed to get my hands on a drill, which made it so much easier. Man, this is so much quicker with a drill. And box 2 took me just a little under 2 hours to do. But I'm pleased to say that the bed fits in the back. It just fits. So I am so pleased I measured before I placed my order. Otherwise, I would have wasted a lot of money. So if I was to rank how easy it was to assemble the bed, I would give it 3 kangoos out of 5. Whatever that means, I don't know. 3 kangoos out of 5. So the design. I personally think this bed looks really good. There is no way in the world someone like me without the woodwork skills, the tools, or the workspace, could have put something like this together. For the material, it is made out of really good wood. It's made out of hard plywood, none of that cheap chipboard, MDF board, you know, none of that. So it's good quality wood. That being said, I am going to look up the materials and how much it would cost to make a bed like this if you were to go to, I don't know, B&Q and buy the wood yourself versus what I paid. I'll look at that at the end of the video to see which one was cheaper. I've got a funny feeling it might be making it yourself, but again, someone like me just wouldn't have been able to pull it off. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just praise the bed. There are some downsides to it. I like the fact that there is a cupboard underneath the bed, but for some strange reason, you can't open the cupboard unless the bed is pulled out. That might be a safety feature to stop it from opening while you're driving, but it just seems really inconvenient. You know, you've got to pull everything out to try and get to the cupboard, and then when the bed's pulled out, you can't really reach your arm underneath to get what you want. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they didn't make it where you can lift up the entire top of the bed to reach your storage. Because my entire storage will be under this bed because this van is so small. So if they made it where you could lift the top of the bed like a lid and access what you needed, that would be so much better. But at the moment, you can lift one part of it up, but where you slide the bed out, you still have the bars in the way, so you can't access what you need. So I don't know, maybe they could have done it where the whole top lifted up. That would have been nice. And lastly, the pull-out system itself. Wood and wood is not the greatest. It kind of builds a bit of friction, so it is kind of difficult to pull it out and push it back in. Maybe that will become better over time, but for that sort of money, I would have expected maybe some drawer runners, like some metal ones that made it more smooth. But if I was going to rank the bed on its design alone, I would give it 3.5 Kangoos out of 5. Whatever mad system I've come up with. 3.5 Kangoos out of 5. Right, so far, so good. We've built the bed, we like the look of the bed, but we haven't tested it out as a bed. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna spend a night in the van and see what it's like with this setup, because I've got a few big adventures coming up soon and I need to see if this works. But so far, so good. I mean, my feet are bloody hanging off the edge. Some of you might have noticed that this is quite a small bed, and yes, you are right. This bed is 150 centimeters in length, and I am 170 centimeters, so I don't quite fit. But I'm hoping if I sleep on a wonk and I sleep corner to corner, I should be able to make it work. But I'm not gonna know that until I test it out. So that's the plan for tonight. I'm gonna finish work, find a park up, and test run this setup. So I found my park up for tonight, and I am parked up in a lay-by next to an A road. And I know that's not very glamorous, but van life isn't all about ocean views and mountain tops, you know? Sometimes you sleep in a lay-by. I'm pleased to report though, I fit in the bed. It is so spacious and I fit perfectly. So that is a bonus. And I'm quite pleasantly surprised that it didn't snap or break the moment I crawled inside of it. So That's good. But yeah, to be honest, I'm just trying to get used to sleeping in a smaller van. I mean, don't get me wrong, I lived in a Kangoo for 2 years, so I'm used to it, but my previous van, I kind of took for granted how much more space there was. But I mean, it's no different. When you sleep in a small van, it's no different from sleeping in a bigger van. It just comes with its own unique set of challenges, you know. Like, you can't really prepare a coffee in the morning, or trying to do a pee in the middle of the night involves a bit of gymnastics. But, you know, you adapt and you make it work. But, yeah, really pleased with this bed, and I'm looking forward to getting a good night's sleep. Oh, ooh-wee. Oh, bed hair. I may have slept in a lay-by last night, but that was one of the best sleeps I've had in a long time. So yeah, it was a good night last night. Really comfortable. So really happy with the bed. But the question is it better to buy a pre-made bed or to make your own? Well, for that answer, I'm gonna have to go to work and get a coffee because my brain is not switched on yet. Let's go to work, let's get a coffee, and let's break it down. Oh, that's better. That is better. So, the question is it better to get a pre-made bed or to make your own? And the answer is, it depends. Which is a bit of a cop-out answer, but it does depend. It depends on what van you have. It depends what's your situation. Are you living in the van full time, or are you just going away in it on weekends? Lots of factors. Because would I buy this bed if I was living in this van full time? No. But it's perfect for my weekend warrior adventures. If I was living in it full time, it just wouldn't work the way it is, you know. Once it's a full double bed, basically the whole back is a bed. And last night, I couldn't reach any of my stuff, which was under the bed, and it was all just very awkward. Whereas when I made my own bed for my last Kangoo, I was able to customize it, you know. It might have been rickety, it might have been a bit uncomfortable, but it worked. It worked because I knew the space that I had and I customized it to that space. But what about when it comes to the cost? So I opened up B&Q and I threw in some items which I think you'd need to make a bed like this. So I added some plywood, some planks, screws, bolts, hinges, and I was quite surprised to see that the raw materials came to about 200 quid, considering that I paid 300 for this bed. Now, £100 is a good saving, especially when you're on a budget. But then I did think about the time it would take to make a bed like this. And also, I wouldn't be able to do all the precision cutting and make it perfect the way this bed has been made. So you got to kind of weigh that up. And for the sake of 100 quid, me personally, I think it's worth it. It saved me the headache of trying to make it myself, so I think it was worth it to spend that little bit extra money to get a better quality bed. So overall, I'm going to give this bed a 3.5 Kangoos out of 5. But that will do it for this episode. I've got to get my butt into work. But let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good idea to go pre-made, or do you think every van lifer should make their own bed?